Welcome everyone to live open source work here from our headquarters with our tiny little Linux distribution. And you probably are as surprised as I when I found that even O1, which historically I rarely used building our whole Linux distribution for 24, 26 plus architectures, that now Qemu of all amazing outstanding open source projects failed. And naturally, with my experience, I imagined or thought, my first thought was that is of course GCC 12. And to my surprise, no it wasn't. And it's one of those bizarre, outstanding stuff, right? The best of the best. GCC Qemu flagship written in C because people love it and stuff and performance. Or not. It's this glorified portable assembler frontend that people still try to use. And how this failed here is rather bizarre again. That is here in define Qemu build not reached here. In expansion there, build not reached stuff, inline can helper. It's like inlining fails for error code to Qemu build not reached, always declared with attribute error code path is reachable. Yeah. Stuff apparently on my first glance here not optimized away enough. And so this is kind of stuff that with O0 maybe, although you would think you compile Qemu for debugging at times with OG for debugging, O1 for debugging. So historically this has been hidden from me, this issue. This is also not a T2 issue. I googled that it's in other open source, like one of the other 1932 Linux distributions, like Gen 2. So like, yeah, it's not a T2 thing, it's also if you build that on Gen 2 with O1 in your eFlex, or what they call it, then tada. It's also, it's in some bugs and not fixed because, nah. So we only uncovered that because we now build our smart, because we found benchmarking that OS takes longer to build and obviously produces smaller but slower code. I thought historically OS was usually producing better code than O1, but yeah. So we switched that for our smart profile optimization stuff to O1. This is why this is uncovered now. And it's actually the second time. I'm not sure if I documented that. I had another O1 build error, which probably I maybe didn't document. I remember maybe this one potentially, but let's check what that was. Yeah, it's probably Mesa actually, probably that one. I hot hacked that because always inline, and it's probably maybe that, but don't quote me on that. Which Mesa and Qemu fail with GCC 12 and O1, which a pretty reasonable optimization level. So we could try, what can we do? I mean, we could quirk, we probably could not really quirk that here in the sources because it's not inline and shouldn't reach, or like stuff is not optimized away with constant propagation and stuff. So it's probably not super easy to like somehow quirk. Ideas would be, so I test build that with O2 or so, and that build of course we could selectively, like, I mean, if we don't care about O1, there are multiple things we could selectively, like changing the source proper, maybe not so easy potentially. We could quirk that, like building at least with O2 or OS. We could quirk our smart profile by adding those files affected to our, so it's translate C. We could actually see, I don't care the most about O1, although I would argue that that should build. Actually, you know what? Let's maybe test Mesa. We have enough epic thread ripping CPU resources here. Maybe I should go for beer or stuff with my neighbor Debugging and check if he gets Ryzen 4 early or stuff and stuff maybe. probably don't tell AMD or so. T2, so let's delete this hot hack there, and because I don't like functional potentially not correct hacks. But I also thought Mesa, I thought that might be GCC 12 and not O1 at that time, because if you have this once, you just want that somehow built ASAP. Let's see what happens here with Mesa. Oops, this was a typo. We could see if we get smart variants of our T2 smart optimization stuff, if we get those to work, it's kind of sort of good enough for me. I mean, we could, otherwise other things would be, we could translate O1 to, or it's all a little bit, we could also further, but it's all tricky, right? All the other build variants built, so we could selectively use our GCC wrapper to selectively compile some files with at least or two and stuff. So they are, the best would of course fix the source proper, which may not be easy if that is a kind of not optimizing the stuff away enough for this error path handling. Yeah, stuff like this tricky stuff, especially with compile optimizations, it's always not pretty and hacky and by nature. So we wanted Qemu. Let's take here a look out. So this should be translate. See if we menu, do we have here we have here translate. Oh, so let's make up some number and call this translate.c. So usually we shouldn't do that. I have a couple of similar manual quirks already, so usually this is profiling data that should theoretically be generated, and I have on my to-do to auto-generate that more. I've manually profiled some with previously O-profile and now Linux kernel perf. My idea is in the long term, is it normal there? Grep unsupported, hello, are you okay? Open source infrastructure 2022, are you configuring okay? Although some of those might be T2 related, but some greps look strange there. I have on my to-do to have, for example, data when like auto-profile all the packages, because currently we have only, previously we had all system profiled some, like even 15 freaking years ago, long before all this YouTube fame here. I would say it's not worthwhile to profile the whole system, that is just too annoying to build everything with debug symbols and stuff. We have done that 15 years ago. I would call this not scaling, and then you only profile what you are using on your system. So I think the much better take on that is what is on my to-do, have data test build stuff nightly and then also profile it, for example, with make check, make test and stuff, and having that then built with like test build with debug symbols and run the test suite and use at least this test suite data for some more reasonable profiling of hot code paths of hot files here in our smart profiling. Actually, I saw that just long arch scrolling by. We can, this is the usual win-win. I probably don't have that on my system. Actually, we see that in a second. Let's also maybe not change the current working directory to clean off, or actually that should be in, or do I, oh no, I have this in build all here for Arch. Do I not have a Qemu override for that already? Interesting. I probably didn't test it yet. It has a chance to work. Actually, I think this manually quirk probably worked, because I think previously it stopped way before the 6000 of 9692 epic thread ripping compilation steps. So yeah, that failed, of course. Here, that is most likely the same. And which file was it? Actually was it multiple? So let's see if we can quirk Mesa the same way. The usual win-win of, what do we have here? Actually, this is unfortunately included in multiple files, I guess. So that is apparently in all of GLSL. It's a little bit tricky. Let me shortly think about. We could manually add. So this is yeah. So that is certainly not. So yeah, that cool. At least Qemu, we hotfixed Qemu, and we certainly that is helpful to have again here. Hotfixed Qemu for smart O1 by adding TCG translate C2 profile. Yeah, this is a little bit hacky, but this fixes probably all except O1, or if we probably have also O debugging. I mean, theoretically we have, maybe if we have none, we probably have 0, 1, and G probably. But I don't care the most about those, right? If you manually debug that, I mean, it's fixing the others. We could theoretically add code, but again, it's an edge case. That is my default build case. The edge cases of if you O0, O1, OG at home, then YOLO it yourself. So because the thing is, if I add something, it's forgotten. I could add, if those optimization levels, then at least O2 for Qemu. But then we forget about this, and then it's bit rotting code there that it mostly, I would argue, makes no sense to keep such bit rotting hotfixes. Bit rotting hotfixes around. Hotfix Qemu for smart. Theoretically O1 base. Where's my optimization by adding this 87, that's fine. Oops. But I mostly make this video to document also how much work and attention to detail it requires, and that I would argue it is crazy in 2022, after 30 years of Free Software Foundation, GCC, and Qemu, which both, like, they are both high profile, high quality, albeit written in portable assembler frontend. That is, see, yeah. Leave in the comments below how amazing do you find the state of C source in 2022. I rest my case. Welcome everyone. Question: how many years will it take to be C expert? Probably 20 plus. So I do this for 20 years, and I still find new stuff that I've never seen, never heard about, never thought about. So, and I've done a lot of C. I mean, if you want faster than me, I would rate. Well, if I would have done 5 years Linux kernel or 5 years C compiler engineering, I probably would certainly know more. Yeah, sure, I don't really do C. I mean, I do C++, did C++ more, but even, yeah. So unless you are a compiler or kernel engineer and doing full-time C, like my level of undefined behavior and standard quirks and features and stuff, I do the 20 years like half time because other languages are better. Like kinda only using C when I have to touch other people's C code and we have to, or we are forced to. But yeah, I mean, you could maybe, if you don't do anything else and don't live a life and only do C in 1 year, maybe you can do it in 1 year, maybe. But leave in the comments below other C coder and programmers and computer science people. And welcome everyone. So top of the screen, yeah, there you probably don't see the, it's you don't, sorry, yeah, right, it's I can certainly resize that, but it's not the super most important, but yeah, that's right. Cheers. And no drink and C driving. This is of course just some mate, but not paid advertisement, just the regular stuff we drink here. And I only drink this because the other mate I usually drink was sold out, so that's just the next best mate there. So not that you think I get drunk by trying to do C code. Lib near though. We could either see if how many like dot, let's see, dot C. How many files are I mean, we could try one by one. We could. Where's my column? Where is my data? Oh no. Oh shit. Ah, fuck, don't tell me. Oh no. Oh. I think I should give up on the Sun keyboard. It's the third time. Some crumbs for the bloody membrane keyboard. Maybe certainly don't get a membrane keyboard. I only use this due to the 10 extra function keys there. I think there's again some hair or dust crumb. I mean, you blame Apple for shit keyboards. The colon key is not working reliably. It's probably some. It's like every year I disassemble this piece of shit and get some dust and hair over it. It's hilarious. I think I should give up on this keyboard. Don't fool. It's also hilarious that Sun for expensive workstations sold freaking membrane keyboards. It's hilarious. Yeah, just some run. So, hello Colin. That explains a thing or two. So, near opt move C. This is all near opt move C. All near. I mean, if it's only one file, actually, it's only one file. Near opt move C. Near. I don't have. It's a VM window which I don't have copy and paste on there easily like that. This is why I need to type that up. Although I could grab it out of there, but whatever. Into Mesa. So if this works, I work around that the same way. Probably just a little ugly. Yeah, actually, okay, this is a new percent. It doesn't have 0.00, whatever. Just matching the style. Usually it should be auto-generated. Actually, certainly, you also see this profile is not very good. And it certainly also, it depends on the driver. So adding a generic profile thing is not that easy. And we probably want to, in the future, manually instrument that. So I will scale up after my microkernel. I need to write a microkernel. But also this is not sorted, I just realized. But we would want to always manually, hello, where is my, all right, the colon, freaking colon doesn't work. We probably always would want some manually fine-tuning there for permanent hot code path file registration, especially for those like drivers that you can't easily profile, or everyone who profiles that has some other stuff. So that is what we would add then. For example, in the wherever that is, either in the desk file, but that would clutter the desk file a bit. We could have the additional postfixes or actually no, maybe prefixes, you know, like percentage if auto-generated, and so if we refresh that, our data is test building something and it's auto-committing some new profile data of the test suite, that it would not erase manual stuff like maybe just as simple as manual or so or whatever, or any text that you could use comments like this, like adding comments of whatever sort there. Like if it's not a number, then it's some manually added commented stuff, just some random ideas of what I would do there. Because this didn't do a thing yet. What's going on there? Maybe the next file. Or XCB. Okay, this is something. What is this? That is strange though. Why does this not? XCB. Look, some native building Vulkan stuff. It cross-built on my machine, so not as it certainly should be there. But yeah, handling prefix is apparently not easy. Yeah, so it's probably somehow missing somewhere. I think I commit this, and actually we could test that. Replace Mesa3d hotfix with smart. Likewise. Replace Mesa3d O1. Actually, maybe make this Mesa3d O1 hotfix manual smart. It's probably fine. We can with XCB. This is patches welcome. Do this next time I need this. So let's. We have Mesa here. Let's rebuild that and see. Mesa has a cross-build that, how we cross-build all the rest. And yeah, crazy stuff. People don't believe me, right? This is also why I started the YouTube channel, right? I had discussions there on the internet and people always like, I make this shit up. It's like, no, I'm not making this shit up. 20 years, do this for 20 years. It's 20 years recurring theme, and in 2022 we still have stuff working randomly because undefined behavior and the usual, the only constant is change, and see the portable implementation in undefined behavior, portable macro assembler preprocessor also. Anyway, that's it for this video. Making T2 Linux, one of the best Linux distributions, one YouTube live stream, and a little attention to detail each day. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. And as usual, if you have any comments or stuff, leave me in the comments below, or patches welcome. I hope you learned something. And don't forget to subscribe. Patreon has this also built and stuff. Patreon, GoFundMe, or Super Chat, super things. And I wish you a good day or night and hope to see you soon for more such fun stuff to come.